In August 2024, a mainland Chinese netizen posted a short video titled, "Where is the capital of China? Nanjing versus Beijing," on the social media platform Douyin. They compared Nanjing, the ancient capital of China, with Beijing. Nanjing was the capital during 6 Chinese dynasties, and Beijing was the capital of China's Ming and Qing dynasties. It's worth noting that Nanjing was once the capital of the Republic of China, while Beijing was the capital of the Communist Party of China after it usurped power. The video shows that among the 1,077 comments at the time, 73% of netizens voted that Nanjing is the capital of China, while only 27% of netizens voted that Beijing is the capital of China. Because the Communist Party of China has made Beijing its capital for 75 years, this video seems to have another meaning. Apparently, Chinese netizens also read its meaning by comparing their votes. After voting, netizens also left messages saying, "Did everyone vote for Nanjing? Nanjing is the capital of the Han people's hearts. Brothers, I voted for Nanjing. Where did you vote?" Some people also raised questions. Is this a poll? What's even more interesting is that netizens also shouted slogans. "Return the capital to Nanjing and fight the Northern Expedition. The Nanjing government will lead us to attack again. An expedition to the north today. Restore the Han people and return the old capital. The army from the south set out to the north to unify China." The Northern Expedition here refers to the period from 1926 to 1928 when the National Revolutionary Army, led by the leader of the Chinese Nationalist Party, was the main force and marched from south to north. This team fought against the warlords in the north at the time. After Chiang Kai-shek's victory in the Northern Expedition, the nationalist government completed the unification of China. Today, in 2024, Chinese netizens are calling for the Northern Expedition, which can be said to imply that they want to overthrow the CCP regime in Beijing, its capital. Under the strict control of the CCP, it's not easy for Chinese people to express similar thoughts online. They need to keep themselves safe, but they are really fed up with too much oppression. In a special environment, Chinese netizens united and encouraged each other cleverly. For example, China's A-shares plummeted at the end of January 2024, and investors were wailing online. On February 2, 2024, the official Weibo of the U.S. Embassy in China issued a joint statement on the 3rd anniversary of the military coup in Myanmar, condemning the human rights violations of the Myanmar military junta. However, the blog's comment section has become a place for Chinese investors to vent their complaints. Netizens have expressed to the U.S. government, "Save Chinese investors and remove the management of the China Securities Regulatory Commission. It's suspected that little pinks cried and begged, 'Stop falling. If the stock market plummets again, we pinks will become a party that hates the country. We have lost real money and it really hurts.'" Someone asked the United States, "Aren't you the world's police? Do you dare to eliminate the cancer on the earth?" The refugees in China's A-share market are also part of the world. The United States, you can't ignore it. Some netizens said bluntly, "Mr. Ambassador, let's not talk nonsense. I will ask President Biden when he will come to attack the city." "No, when will he come to visit? I am going to move the ladder. Let's work together to rescue our brothers in Myanmar." Someone else sighed, "I really want to breathe the free air of America." Many netizens also boldly stated that they would lead the way when the US military arrived. Someone wrote, "Welcome to overthrow the cannibalistic system. I am willing to help you just like the people of Beijing helped the 8-power allied forces siege the city." Some people expressed their willingness to help Americans in this way. "Come and buy China's core assets at a low price and someone will help you get a discount." Others called on, "Take advantage of the moment and bring your aircraft carrier over and 700 million people will clear the way for you." It seems that after being hit by the CCP's iron fist, Chinese investors have turned their attention to the US government, which the CCP has demonized in every possible way. Some people said, "When the British Empire was able to control the Qing dynasty, couldn't you follow the example of your predecessors? America, a free nation, come and save us. Our A-shares here are like Myanmar. They eat people without spitting out their bones." Someone shouted, "America's hope for humanity." Some people also called the United States the lighthouse country and said, "Lighthouse country has a responsibility. There is so much evil in this world. The greater the power, the greater the responsibility." Some people said, "We can lead the way and are willing to donate. Can you make arrangements?" Yes, you know what I'm talking about. It seems that Chinese investors who once claimed to be patriotic have finally awakened after suffering heavy losses due to the continuous decline of A-shares. Some netizens said, "Please ask the US ambassador to make a video of the comments here and forward it to the media around the world. Thank you, this place is hopeless. It's all lies from top to bottom. I hope you can expose them and liberate the people here." A generation of Chinese people grew up in the CCP's brainwashing propaganda, and many people love this Red Party from the bottom of their hearts. Even though many Chinese came overseas, they couldn't get rid of this kind of thinking. However, the great epidemic that began in 2020 has awakened a large number of Chinese people, especially overseas Chinese. In 2020, an epidemic broke out in China. The epidemic ravaged the world because the CCP tried its best to conceal it. A few months after the epidemic spread around the world, institutions and individuals from dozens of countries, including the US, the UK, Italy, India, and Nigeria, filed lawsuits in court demanding compensation for the losses caused to them by relevant institutions and individuals of the Chinese Communist Party government. At this time, Chinese netizens jointly staged a funny scene of international defection on the internet. On May 4th, 2020, a Chinese netizen posted on the X platform, "If foreign countries demand compensation from the CCP, we in Guangdong are willing to sacrifice ourselves, really completely. We are willing to cede ourselves to the US first." The netizen also added, "For the sake of the country, we are willing to sacrifice ourselves, become colonies, and be slaves of the subjugated country. People in other provinces, please don't fight. The inheritance of Confucian culture depends on you. We will change our ways, wear foreign clothes, eat foreign food, and use foreign systems." This funny tweet triggered many comments from Chinese netizens. Because these netizens position themselves as representatives of various provinces in China, someone wrote, "Guangdong province is too small to be compensated. Our Xinjiang autonomous region accounts for 1/6 of China's land. It's rich in resources and sparsely populated. It can be ceded to the United States. This will also solve the Xinjiang issue that has troubled the Chinese government for many years. It can be said to be mutually beneficial, a win-win situation." Some Hong Kong netizens said openly, Hong Kong should be cut off first to solve China's internal problems. Stop worrying about Hong Kong, a small fishing port. Some netizens said, "Let's cede our Manchukuo, that is, China to Japan. That's good." Some netizens replied, "No, Guangdong province has already suffered too much during the Opium War. We can't let you sacrifice any more. Let us mainlanders come this time. From now on, you will be responsible for the Chinese government. We dress like foreigners and take many vacations for the rest of your life." There was also a representative from Shandong province who said he would not compete with the representatives from Guangdong province. He wrote, "Then we in Shandong will have to sacrifice ourselves and give it to Japan again." A representative from Guangxi province in southwest China joined the discussion and said, "Ha ha, bring Guangxi with us too." Some Hunan netizens said, "Our Hunan can be ceded to Germany." Some netizens from other provinces disagreed. "Why did Guangdong escape first? You got rich first. This time the opportunity should be given to other provinces." Someone said, "Ha ha, China's rebel gathering place. I've seen rebels who keep a low profile, but I have never seen them so cheerful." A representative from Gansu province said, "Poor and remote areas like Gansu should be let out." Someone said on behalf of the people of Hebei province, "No, let's cede Hebei. Guangdong cannot take all the good things." Some people also said, "Let's stop fighting. It's a big deal if all of China is ceded to the United States. Everyone will be happy." Some netizens thought of Shanghai. "We in Shanghai are willing to sacrifice more, really completely. We are willing to cede ourselves to the United States, Britain, and France. We are an old concession." Netizens from the Northeast said generously, "Please ask the United States to take over the 3 northeastern provinces. The 3 northeastern provinces are, buy one and get 3 provinces free, and will never let Americans suffer a loss." Mr. Hu, a Chinese netizen, analyzed the above phenomena and said, "Everyone is willing to go abroad. They all know that foreign countries are good and hope that we can become them. The universal value that everyone agrees on is that we hope to have universal values like Japan or the United States and have the right to speak out. This reflects the wish of many awakened Chinese people." Chinese netizen Miss Jian also pointed out, "If the Communist Party does nothing for the people, why does it still exist? I hope it will disintegrate as soon as possible." In September 2022, former U.S. Secretary of State Pompeo said in a video released by the Hudson Institute, a think tank in Washington, D.C., "The Chinese Communist Party does not represent the Chinese people. The Chinese Communist Party claims to represent China and Chinese civilization. Even the Communist Party itself knows this is a lie, because if the Chinese government truly believed that it represented the Chinese people, Beijing would not spend more than it spends on defense to suppress and monitor its people." In July 2024, a buzzword appeared on the internet in mainland China: history's garbage time. The Chinese state news agency issued a report criticizing this view. The title of this report is, "How Can There Be Garbage Time in History?" So, where does this statement come from? It originated from an online article in WeChat Moments in mainland China that suddenly went viral. The online article states, "History's garbage time is a concept proposed by an Austrian economist. That is, from the perspective of economic logic, when a certain period of history deviates from economic laws, individuals are unable to change it, and it's bound to fail. It's defined as history's garbage time." The national news agency's description attests to the impact of the online article. Xinhua News Agency's editorial wrote, "Many big Vs and bloggers saw this statement as fashionable and rumored to be endorsed by a Western economist theory, so they quoted it hastily without asking whether it was true or not, and then concocted a large number of lie down and watch the show." Watch the show meaning not working hard and watching from the sidelines. In the past few decades, the Chinese Communist Party has always used economic development as the source of its so-called governing legitimacy. However, China's economy has continued to deteriorate seriously. A large number of factories and companies in China have closed down, and a large number of college graduates cannot find jobs. More and more people are unemployed, and people's dissatisfaction with the CCP is becoming more and more obvious. It's easy to understand why historical garbage time suddenly became popular on China's internet at this time. If the Chinese people really lie down or just watch from the sidelines without working, does that mean the end of the Chinese communist regime? At this time, a video on the Chinese mainland social media Douyin about the 10 signs before the fall of dynasties also spread overseas. The 10 major signs mentioned in the video include opposition between the government and the people, ideological confusion, strengthening social control, arbitrary tax increases, random issuance of banknotes, drunkenness at the top, miserable suffering at the bottom, institutional rigidity, military corruption, and whitewash peace. Although the video repeatedly emphasized that it's talking about the harbingers of the demise of dynasties in history, talking about this topic in today's China does not seem to be just about history. Because under the rule of the Chinese Communist Party, this is almost a reflection of reality. Once a dynasty shows signs of extinction, these powerful rulers must strengthen social management and control to continue enjoying everything they gain, and they dare not relax management anymore. It mainly prevents large-scale gatherings of social personnel and strengthens the management of various tools that can resist rule, such as weapons and monitoring of public opinion. One of the biggest signs of a dynasty's demise is the increase in taxes and the ruling class amassing money like crazy. The upper class is drunk and dreaming, while the lower class is miserable. Officials are completely out of touch with the people, when most officials only care about their own enjoyment and do not listen to the sounds of suffering in their ears. This is a precursor to the demise of the dynasty. It seems that these words have really reached the hearts of the Chinese people. Therefore, no matter how much the CCP advocates patriotism and unification of thought, now China's people's mentality has changed. That's why Chinese netizens shouted the slogan, "Northern Expedition," because they want to overthrow the Chinese communist regime. In May of this year, the video showed that a famous statue in Henan province of the Taiping army of the Qing dynasty was removed. The large sculpture Soul of the Taiping Army that once stood under the city wall of the Tianjin Pavilion, a well-known scenic spot in Henan province, has been demolished. Afterwards, local government office staff told the media that the Tianjin Pavilion scenic area was undergoing renovation, so the sculptures of Taiping Army soldiers were temporarily protected and relocated. Is what the government officials said true? People may not believe it. The Taiping Army was an uprising in the late Qing dynasty with the goal of overthrowing the Qing dynasty. Look, in May this year, the statue of Li Zicheng that had been installed in Beijing for 30 years was suddenly demolished. He was the leader of the popular uprising in the late Ming dynasty. He led troops to attack Beijing, the capital of the Ming dynasty, causing the last emperor of the Ming dynasty, Changzhen, to hang himself, and the Ming dynasty was destroyed. Although the official claim is that the statue of Li Zicheng in Beijing will be relocated to another province, it's estimated that no one will believe this reason. Because both the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom and Li Zicheng are related to the peasant movement and the uprising, this is not a coincidence. This also triggered heated discussions among Chinese netizens. Netizens analyzed that the CCP has fallen into isolation and has a guilty conscience. Some people said, although these are the heroes of the peasant uprising in our history textbooks, they were all rebels who resisted the imperial court at the time. Some netizens suggested that the CCP was afraid of a popular uprising. Anyway, some people are still afraid of Li Zicheng. That's all for today. Please remember to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. See you in the next episode.